And now please join me to welcome Mr. Munish Bhasin, ladies and gentlemen, Director Alliances and Channels F5. Please put your hands together and join me to Mr. Munish Bhasin. Everybody, all over to you, sir.
Thank you. It's only focusing on me. Probably the stage likes my face. It says time's up. Okay, good. Thank you guys, good evening, and I will start with a small trivia, right? Means we are at the fag end of closing this particular sessions, and I thought I will start with a small trivia. Guys, there is a common denominator between these four figures. Any one of you, can somebody identify what is a common denominator across these four figures? Pardon? Power. Power is excellent. But what's the common denominator? Ames has power, power has power, and there's a fish tank, right? Does that have power? You have veg, non-veg? Pardon? No, I will give you a hint. Something happened across these four. Absolutely. Who was that? Who was that? Who told? Yeah. A small gift for the gentleman, a big round of applause. They were all hacked. Very interesting, right? This is when Russia went into a war with Ukraine, the first hacking attack in 2017, right? Oh, sorry, the grid out here. The entire power outage went for 6 hours. One of the most known and documented attack. This is very interesting. People have been to Vegas, right? So this is a very famous Vegas fish tank attack, where 10 GB data was taken from a thermostat inside the fish tank, which was our internet enabled. Again, an application attack that happened. It took 10 GB high roller coaster data. Then Ames Delhi, right? Who forgets Ames Delhi? 1.5 years back, the entire Ames was paralyzed. 6 months, I heard, doctors didn't have the internet access, right? They all went to a manual kind of a mode. And lastly, very interesting, which happens to, again, to be an F5 customer is veg, non-veg. How many people can relate veg, non-veg to? What kind of company this is? Snickers, absolutely. Most of the people say it actually delivers like Zomato. Okay, so veg, non-veg, one of the famous Snickers site, there was a big time bot attack, where the bot was taking the entire inventory and the fan club was not able to buy an inventory. Okay, these attacks are very common. What is common is, these are all application attacks. Things when we talk about network security, compute, and fortunately I come from that era, right? 30 years in this industry, like most of you, and we have seen that ArcNet, Ethernet, 4 Mbps, graduating to compute, storage, cloud, hyperscalers, and things like that. And now we come to network security, compute security, endpoint security, but I think those are getting very commoditized, right? If attack on Ames happens, Mr. Modi is not going to ask which router is compromised. He will ask why the application is down. Why doctors not already able to. If EPFO is hacked, right, he will ask why citizen service is not working. He is not concerned which switch is getting compromised. Applications and API attacks are call of the day, right? And there where F5 plays an important role. Oh, these are the potential organization that could be hacked. Okay, or these might be hacked, who knows? From media organizations to fintechs to banking, core banking, moving over to many, many others. And I'm not still talking about India, right? I'm talking about India and South Asia. They're all friendly countries to us, supposedly. So guys, my name is Munish Bhasin. I run the partnerships as introduced. And what I'm going to talk a bit about is less of F5 and more about application security in the cloud era. Guys, this is very important. And I think a couple of years back, and exactly 10 years back, we thought that the traditional data center will move to where? Public cloud, right? This we supposed. Did that happen? Did that happen? Did the applications move to public cloud? No, that prediction was wrong. It moved to multiple clouds. And still, many of that remained in traditional data center. If you see, near about 30% are still sitting in traditional data center, right? And the likes of HP GreenLake and all are trying to retract applications back from the cloud. If you see AWS revenues and Azure revenues, they are really tense for last 2 quarters because people want, again, OPEX going back to the CAPEX. So interesting times, right? Those were the times when I launched Azure for Microsoft in India. But at that time, it was very tough. Then the cloud took speed, and now it's getting a bit plateaued because people are still evaluating different infrastructure for their applications. Applications are not bounded by the infrastructure, right? They want to live at their pace and where they want. The other big thing that happened is application actually started breaking down, like Uber, right? Uber is a combination of multiple applications. You have a driver application, you have a payment applications. Who knows which application is sitting where? Maybe the payment application is sitting on Azure cloud. Maybe a driver application is sitting on a AWS cloud or a GCP cloud or an Alibaba cloud or maybe a traditional data center. The security has to keep moving across. It's like a gold, right? If you are putting gold in your own locker, you are just preventing that particular locker. But if you are segregating that gold into multiple lockers and then to your neighbor's house also, you need to put security each and everywhere. That's what applications are. Applications are getting decomposed, right? And they're all getting into microservices. Guys, I might be using a bit of jargons, but I think this is a time we all need to graduate, because if we graduate, then we can provide this differentiation to our customers. I think today a CIO doesn't want to listen more about routers or switches or a compute security or computer. He's, I think, much more learned than us. He's already on the internet and doing. And the other fact of the matter is all CIO resumes look same. You ask for 10 CIO resumes, you cannot differentiate until unless he is writing that I am also doing an application and API security. There they want to graduate. I think application API security, and I was listening to the moderation, okay, how we can sell API product. I think we should wait a bit. API will get commoditized. You are not going to sell API as a product. API will be part of some product, right? You do not sell a sole of a shoe. You sell a shoe. Sole is a comfort. API is a comfort, or AI is a comfort. So don't bother about selling a Copilot. Today you are selling a Copilot, but sooner you will not be selling Copilot. Copilot will be inherent. You buy Office 365, Copilot will come default. It's still coming default. So don't bother. If somebody is going to ask you, will somebody pay 30,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees, that are the talk of today, in time. Sooner there will be no discussions about this. People still buy 16,000 rupees Office 365 a year and things like that. They have money, right? But people are graduating, right? Today it might be large enterprises. SMBs are not buying that, but upper mid market and enterprises are buying that. By the way, the 3 large AI factories in India, and Yota, if you talk about Yota, they are the 2nd largest buyers of NVIDIA in entire Asia Pacific. Entire Asia Pacific. I think the latest AI factories, in fact F5, worldwide, the 3 AI factories closed by F5 worldwide are in India. Yota, Tata Communication and Reliance. So AI is like crazy in India. So if you are thinking that people are not buying AI, it is actually very subtle. GPUs are getting sold for specific use cases. Even government is trying to do that. Why Yota is buying this? They are trying to provide service to government. Maybe the customers that you are actually addressing today, they are not the right candidate, but they will graduate. Like we have graduated from traditional Ethernet technologies to gigabit Ethernet and things like that, right? But time will happen and we need to keep rhythm of that particular thing. So what happens is now the complexity increases. This is the fire or a ball of fire, right? Everyone is speaking to everyone. Multiple APIs. So I was actually in discussion with one of the top 3 companies group CIO, and I challenged him and I asked him how many APIs you are having in your network. And next time when you are sitting with one of your mid-level or large-level customer, ask him how many APIs you have in your network. I challenge, he cannot tell or she cannot tell. They cannot. They even cannot tell how many applications they are having in network. They're all virtual. And that's the beauty. That's a door opener. There they will feel that it's a high IQ question. Ultimately, you might be selling network firewall only. But the discussions are on for the AI. So these kind of questions need to be quizzed with the customers of yours, right? Or with the prospect of yours. So what happened really was this. The application never moved to one public cloud. It moved to multiple public clouds. It moved to multiple traditional data centers. or co-location services, and it's all mess up out there. That means the security which was just localized only for one place in the traditional data center has now to move across multiple places. हर घर के लिए एक चौकीदार और सब अपनी अपनी लैंग्वेज बोल रहे हैं. You need a uniformity. You need one language. I'm still not trying to sell F5, right? What's happening more is that people are moving like this, right? On the lower bottom, people are just lifting and shifting their applications to the cloud. The other one is they are trying to refactor their applications. The third one is they are developing their applications on the cloud itself, which is known as native. You cannot have different security or different traffic management for different kind of infrastructure. It has to be universal. Otherwise, you will be confused. You cannot tell that for this particular home, I need this level of chokidar, speaking Nepali. Sorry, I am not disgraceful. And this level, you have to speak Punjabi and things like that. It has to be a universal common theme, a common denominator. And that's where the magic happens. You go on any infrastructure or the application goes on any infrastructure, the security and the traffic management also goes on to the same infrastructure without you being bothered. You should not be bothered about Copilot. Copilot should be inherent part of that particular product. Today, when I was trying to write a mail, Copilot popped up. I never bought Copilot. Somebody bought in my company. So AI will become very commoditized for us. So don't worry about AI. Like clouds have become, very commoditized for us. And how come we overcome this, right? I think we are on a journey to make things ridiculously easy. AI will find foot when we stop thinking AI as a halwa. AI is very simple. It will be part of our everyday life. Maybe we are not touching it. I never touch sole of my shoe, but it gives me comfort. AI is that comfort, and it will give you more comfort, right? The only thing is how to protect, because now things are beyond your control. The gold is not lying in your lockers. The gold is lying at multiple places, even at your enemy's house, and you need to protect all that. By gold, I mean your AI applications or your API applications. Today, the data economy has now shifted to AI economy or API economy, what we say. Even Mr. Modi talks about API, right? Means how knowledgeable our bureaucrats have become. And they are not concerned about a device going down, right? They are concerned about a service going down. The board will always challenge their CIO or a CEO, not about a product being compromised, but a service being compromised. If you are not able to buy on Amazon, it's not that you will challenge and ask Amazon, तेरे किस country में कौन सा router down हो गया? Boss, your application is not performing, or it is hacked. My account is hacked, or something else, right? So that's the protection. So what happens is, right, to protect all these things, you need multiple devices. Traffic management, load balancers. If you want content delivery, CDN. If you want to protect applications, a WAF. If you have a API security, then advanced WAF and things like that. And then they have to be universal across platforms. What F5 does is, it will give you all those things in one particular shot. Can be delivered anywhere and everywhere. Somebody in that panel was talking about that data needs to be understood. The right data needs to be brought in. What is said is garbage in, garbage out. If you take garbage, you will get garbage. What F5 does is, it will actually curate the data which needs to come to the NVIDIA GPUs. By the way, when Mr. Jensen was here 4 weeks back, F5 was a platinum sponsor of NVIDIA event. Because now F5 in new avatar is going to sit on their DPUs to do all these things and take load out of their GPUs, because GPUs are really costly resource. Today, the big fight is that US is not allowing China to buy a GPU, a Saudi Arabia to buy a GPU, because GPU is like a gold, and gold has to be used judiciously. There F5 helps. It looks very complex. Before joining F5 3 years back, I was not aware what F5 is. I thought it is again a plane making company like FS16. Okay, later when I was interviewed, I got to know it's a cybersecurity company. Sorry, it's just a joke. But the thing is, things looks complex, but when you start talking, when you start quizzing, when you start communicating with your prospect and customer, believe me, your customer will take you in high esteem, because he wants to know and talk to you about things which are in thing, which makes a difference, where his board or his CEO quizzes him. The CEO doesn't quizzes him which make of router or a switch or a endpoint security you have bought. He quizzes him. If is the application performing, is our business running right? How much is the performance time, and is everything secure? And I think that matter is solved. Everyone is happy in the company. And there where F5 is very close and hard to the customer. By the way, guys, the earlier slide where I showed that these companies could be hacked or can be potential hacked, all those companies are actually the current customers of F5. Your Aadhaar, if tomorrow Aadhaar is compromised, maybe you can have some eye on for F5. IRCTC, the biggest railwayization system, is protected by us. DM system is our partner, and I see the sir out there who helps us in Pine Labs. And many, many others. You talk about Coven app and others, right, which you use it day in and day basis. Have you ever thought that F5 is behind that? Never ever. It becomes very universal. That's the beauty of F5, right? So be with a commodity,